Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk. That's movie talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Joining me as always is AMC's editor-in-chief, John Campia.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We're so glad you decided to join us today.
And also joining us is AMC's entertainment correspondent, Erin Darling.
Hey guys, good to be back. Good to see you. Hope you're all having a great week.
And we got another guy joining us today, but I got a bit of an announcement to make. About a year ago, news broke that Guardians of the Galaxy movie was coming, and nobody knew squat about it. And I knew very little, so I started on this hunt trying to find somebody who knew a lot about Guardians of the Galaxy, and a mutual friend of ours introduced me to John Schnepp, and he started coming on as a guest. And for a year now, he's been coming on as a guest. I'm here to announce Schnepp is finally a part of the team. He's now on staff with us here. He is, as it were, he's no longer prospect, he is patching in. So I've got this for Schnepp, who is now patching into the Sons of AMC. So now on staff.
Yo. See, kids, when you have a lot of nerd knowledge, it'll someday pay off. You'll get to be on a show and get a kick-ass t-shirt. And also get to see free movies and hang out with some people who know a lot about movies. So thanks. Glad to be a part of it.
All right, what's up first?
Walt Disney Pictures has revealed the first trailer for the new Angelina Jolie film, Maleficent, which you can find a link to in the description below. Maleficent opens in AMC theaters everywhere on May 30th, 2014, and stars Angelina Jolie, Charlotte Copley, and Elle Fanning. John, what do you think of the first trailer for Maleficent?
Beautiful. It is gorgeous. Now, as a first trailer, I don't expect it to give me a lot of stuff, not give me a lot of the narrative or a lot of whatever. It's supposed to be kind of a tease, you know, for the opening. And I've been a little bit nervous. The one point that I've been a little bit nervous when it comes to Maleficent is Robert Stromberg, who is directing the film, never directed anything else before. Now, he's also got 2 Oscars on his shelf as an art director for Avatar and Alice in Wonderland. And he's been nominated a few other times as well. And when you watch this trailer, you can tell an Academy Award-winning art director has directed this film. My breath was taken away by how beautiful it looks. We don't get much of a sense of how Angelina Jolie is in the movie. She just has a couple of quick lines. She certainly looks cool. So I have no commentary on, does the story look like it's going to be good? Don't know at all. All it gave us were these sweeping, breathtaking shots. The art, that one scene when it's a far wide shot and you see Maleficent standing there in that classic pose with I'm like, this movie might suck, it might be great, but I got a feeling it's going to look really, really beautiful. Erin, you had a chance to see the trailer. What did you think?
I absolutely loved it. It blew me away. I was kind of a little bit nervous about this going into the whole experience as well, because I just wasn't sure how I feel about the villain being portrayed in this movie, but it looked absolutely stunning, and Angelina Jolie is hot even as a monster. Can I officially hate her now?
Yeah,
Can I?
She really is, isn't she?
Yeah.
Snap.
I loved it. We were talking about epic movies yesterday. This felt epic. Like the shots just had this big feel to it. And like we don't really know that much about the story other than, you know, there's probably elements of Sleeping Beauty in there. And it looked great. Angelina Jolie looked fantastic as Maleficent, and I can't wait to see it. And that one shot, too, is the same one for me where she's just standing there and the trees are slowly rising. It just really looked beautiful.
That colored flame kind of her hand.
Yeah.
You know, it's also really cool seeing Elle Fanning in there because I after watching, what was the J.J. Abrams film that she did?
Super 8.
Super 8. I was going to say District 8. Yeah, Super 8. You know, I wondered, because she is, for those of you who don't know, she's Dakota Fanning's sister. And wondering, okay, will she do more beyond this? Because I thought she was pretty good in Super 8, even though I didn't think the film was all that great. It's so nice to see her in something like this, too. And it's going to be interesting seeing her kind of juxtapose against an Angelina Jolie. So a lot of things to like about this trailer. Maybe the next one will give us some things to not like. But right now, I'm really on board with it. All right, what's next?
Following the departure of Charlie Hunnam, the upcoming film 50 Shades of Grey added Jamie Dornan to star alongside Dakota Johnson. And now another significant change has been made. It's being reported that Universal Pictures has moved 50 Shades of Grey off its August 1st, 2014 release date and pushed it all the way back to February 14th, Valentine's Day 2015. John, what do you make of this date change for 50 Shades of Grey?
Baby, It's Valentine's Day. It's a day of romance. Let's go see some S&M at the local theater, right? This is an odd. Now, I understand pushing it back. They've gone through some drama with the casting. I think they've had a little bit of drama with the director and getting the story finalized, so maybe they're a bit behind schedule. Push it back a few months. No big deal. That seems to make sense. Valentine's Day for 50 Shades of Grey? It does not seem like a natural fit to me, should I say? Unless they're going to do what a lot of the fans of the books are fearing. They're going to completely gut it, make it a PG-13 film, whatever. But this seems like a weird film to put on Valentine's Day. Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just thinking they'll get the spillover from like the Love Actually, like, oh, so that's sold out on Valentine's Day. Here's the weird, S&M Valentine's Day. It's strange to me. I don't really get it. So.
Aaron?
It makes a little bit of sense to me why they moved this, because the reason why is because it was in the middle of World Cup season. So of course they're going to push this, and they're going to move it to a time when it's a little bit less crowded, because no one goes to the movies internationally, at least during the World Cup. So it makes a lot of sense to me. And also, okay, 2015 Valentine's Day, are you going to see SpongeBob SquarePants 2, or are you going to see 50 Shades of Grey? I know for me, even as a person who's not excited for this movie at all, let me just put it out there, I think I know which one I'm choosing. It's not SpongeBob SquarePants 2.
I might be going to SpongeBob SquarePants 2. Judging by Ashley's shirt, I'm guessing she might be going to SpongeBob SquarePants 2 as well. It's
Obviously.
a very appropriately colored shirt there, as a matter of fact. The other really weird thing, too, about this, when you really sit back and think about it, is that if you had to move it a couple months, that's fine, but August to February, my big fear, from a business point of view, for this film has always been and still is, the popularity of 50 Shades of Grey, I believe, was a flash in the pan. And I believe the further and further away you get from when the books came out, the less and less popular it is, the less and less people are going to be interested, and the less and less buzz. I think, if anything, if you had to push this film, push it 2 months. Push it 3 months. Don't push it 7 or 8 months. I'm scared for this film. I'm very, very scared for this film. All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show called Buy and Sell. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then Schnepp, Aaron, and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Have you ever played that game Temple Run and thought to yourself, man, this would make a great movie?
No!
You haven't? Well, you're gonna get it anyway. It's being reported that Warner Brothers and Harry Potter producer David Heyman are going to develop a big screen adaptation for the hit mobile game. Aaron, buy or sell a Temple Run movie?
I have never, ever in my life thought that this would make a good movie. This is a game that has no premise and no overarching story happening here. I mean, I don't see where they're going to go with this, although I have read that they're kind of aiming to go for this explorer who steals an idol from a temple, which kind of, strangely enough, sounds like a franchise.
No, this is completely original. No, completely
I've heard of
original.
before.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is new frontier
Ringing
stuff.
any bells, guys? Yes, I don't know how I feel about this movie. I'm really not on board as of now, so I'm definitely going to sell it.
Hey, you know what? I had never even heard of Temple Run until this morning when I read about it. So I watched a YouTube clip of a dude just running. and it was like some kind of a guy on speed, like who used to play Mario Brothers. So he's got to collect all those weird things, got to get the nuggets, so he's running and collecting all these things and just turning left and right. And occasionally he gets wings.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you like skimp under
I've never gotten far enough in the game.
Yeah, you get these little like wings, which doesn't do anything. I thought, can you fly now? No, you just keep running. So I don't really know what it does, but if they do it anything like District 13, those parkour movies that were produced in France, I love those movies. They're goofy. It's like, I'm a cop. The city has been walled in. Now I must go in and do some secret agent stuff. And jump around all Skippy style across buildings and stuff. So if they do that with this, then it'll probably be a fun action movie. I mean, all I can see is parkour when I watch the
So District
Temple
13
Run.
crossed with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
And maybe you got
bunch
something.
of dudes skipping and running and jumping the whole movie.
I mean, look, I am also going to sell this, but I will give it this. There is no story here. I mean, the game starts with you running out and giant demonic monkeys are chasing you, and you slide, turn left, turn right, or jump. I mean, there's not much to it. But, to be fair, most video game movies just take the most surface concept of the game anyway and develop their own movie around it. So while I am selling this, as much as I sold Angry Birds the movie, which is also coming out, I'm not going to sell it hard because, this is kind of the formula most video game movies take. All right, what's next?
As some of you may know, there are currently 2 Hercules films in post-production right now. One with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and the other with Twilight star Kellen Lutz. The one with Lutz, Hercules: The Legend Begins, has just been picked up by Summit Entertainment and is set to hit AMC theaters everywhere on February 7, 2014, the same day as the Lego Movie and George Clooney's The Monuments Men. John, buy or sell Summit releasing Hercules: The Legend Begins on February 7th?
This is an odd choice. I mean, because Lego Movie is going to be big with the kids demographic. If it's a kids demographic, that means a lot of parents are going to be going to see it too. Monuments Men, it's a George Clooney, Matt Damon. It was an Oscar bait film until Clooney realized he couldn't finish it in time. That's going to get a lot of attention. How is dropping Hercules on that date? I think is an odd choice. So, look, I know a lot of people are banging on the film already. I'm not. I think there's potential. I said this 2 years ago. I'll say it again. I believe 10 years after the Twilight franchise is done, the one actor who will probably still have a functioning, working Hollywood career is going to be Kellen Lutz. I still believe that. But this is a weird date, and so overall, I got to sell it as a date. Aaron?
I'm going to sell it as well because I feel like this is a ploy to move this release date up just so that they can get it out before The Rock's Hercules, which is the more buzzed about, more anticipated one that people are talking about right now.
Yeah.
Just to get it out before that, I don't really think it's a good idea.
Sure.
I think it's a great idea to get it out before The Rock's Hercules, because The Rock's Hercules is going to smash it. So it's crushed. So they might as well try to get at least a couple million before people might even go thinking that this is The Rock Hercules. Who knows? The trailer looked very much like a TV show to me. It reminded me of
It reminded me of Spartacus.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just had that TV budgety look to it, where it's here's a couple of expensive 3D shots overhead, which we had some dude do, and then the rest of it's up close, kind of TV style shooting, and there's one special effect. So I think the one thing that'll probably differentiate this Hercules from The Rock's Hercules is this is saying he's the son of God. And he eventually reclaims his electrical whip powers at the end. I saw that and I was like, what? So there is a third Hercules movie in post-production now. I shot it yesterday with Jack Black as a star. It's called Hercules: The Super Ultra Challenge, and it should be coming out next week.
I mean, and there is something to be said about getting it out first, because
Yeah.
Because recently we had 2 completely, on the surface, completely identical movies. We had Olympus Has Fallen, White House Down. Olympus Has Fallen got out first, made a bunch more money.
Yep.
So, I mean, maybe there's something there to be said for that. All right, what's next?
It's being reported that Independence Day 2 has been moved back by a nearly full year. Previously set for release on July 3rd, 2015, the sci-fi action sequel will now hit AMC theaters everywhere on July 1st, 2016. Jeanette, buy or sell Independence Day 2 being pushed back by a full year?
Of course, I'm going to buy that. You know why I buy it? For one sole reason. It is now 20 years later. That movie came out in 1996. It's coming out in 2016. That's a full 20 years. It's even 19 years later. The sequel you've been demanding after 19 years just doesn't sound right. 20 years later, it has that epic 2 decades in the making, as opposed to 19 years and 3 months in the making. It just doesn't have. So it's totally worth it to push it. I would have pushed it to 2026 just to be 30 years in the making, but that's me. But yeah, I buy it.
Aaron?
I'm going to buy it too. You guys, they could push this one back 200 years and I'd still be disinterested. I wanted the sequel maybe 2 to 3 years after the original, but 20 years later.
Gotta let it marinate, Aaron.
I've had some time to think about it. Just a few years, most of my life to think about it. And I still don't want to see it.
I'm going to buy this, and here's why. I'm going to get all conspiracy theorist on you here for a second. So what I'm about to say, take with a grain of salt, that I have nothing to back this up with. This is just me speculating, okay? I believe, because now we've known in the past couple months, there's a lot of drama going on between Independence Day 2 and Will Smith. At first they said, no, Will Smith's not a part of it. His demands were too high, and we said no. So Will Smith's not going to be in. But then in the last couple of weeks, we've heard the director Roland Emmerich say, we're talking. Okay, so now they're talking with Will Smith. Then Emmerich says, okay, we got 2 versions of the script. One version of the script has Will Smith in it. One version of the script doesn't have Will Smith in it. We're ready to shoot either one of them. And now they're saying they're pushing the film back a full year. Here's the conspiracy theory part of me. I think they came to a deal with Will Smith. And in coming to a deal with Will Smith, they looked at his schedule that he already had on the books and said, okay, he can't shoot it to have it out in 2015, but he can shoot in early 2015 so we can have it out in mid-2016, and that's why the So I'm predicting, with nothing to back it up with, and I'm probably completely wrong on this, I believe they've got Will Smith on board, and they've moved it a year to accommodate his shooting schedule.
I will back up your conspiracy theory.
Woohoo!
I think
So
that's
will
a good
I.
one.
Why not?
All right, what's next?
Snow White and the Huntsman director Rupert Sanders has reportedly signed on to direct Warner Brothers' upcoming Napoleon, a biopic of the 18th and 19th century military figure Napoleon Bonaparte. John, buy or sell Sanders directing Napoleon?
Now, the big question is, will Kristen Stewart be in it? If so, then we know why Sanders... No, I don't want to beat that dead horse. Anyway, I like the idea. I love the idea of a Napoleon film. I really do. I mean, these big, sweeping, epic kind of biopics of historical figures. I mean, it wouldn't get much cooler than doing one on Napoleon. That could look amazing. The story could be enthralling. But look, the only real film of Rupert's I've seen is Snow White and the Huntsman. And I thought that was a really disappointing film. If seriously, if it wasn't for Charlize Theron's performance in that, I'd call the movie a complete waste. She made it watchable, but not much more beyond that. So it's hard to be on board. So for buy or sell, I gotta sell it. Anyway, Erin.
I'm definitely going to buy it. I love historical dramas. I love this character. I definitely want to see Napoleon on the big screen. And the studio was so excited about the script that they wanted to pair Leo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese together to make this film, which would have been epic. It would have been great. Obviously, the alternative director, Rupert Sanders, is a little bit on the less experienced side and not as well known. So I'm a little bit hesitant about it, but overall, my excitement, and I love the fact that the studio loved the script so much, gives me a lot of hope for this movie, so I'm definitely going to buy it.
Schnepp.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it just because it's a biopic on Napoleon and it's a big budget, big screen movie. I've wanted to see that for years, ever since Kubrick was trying to make his Napoleon movie. So with that, I'll buy it. Rupert Sanders, I agree. The Snow White and the Huntsman was boring to me and really horribly paced. But, you know, a lot of that also has to do with the script and, you know, and scenes added and taken away or whatnot. But, you know, that, you know, doesn't always fall completely on the director. But he's got a lot to prove with Napoleon. So, you know. And just like Napoleon had a lot to prove, he was always like, I'm bigger than I am, you know? Now Sanders has got to step up and do that too. So I buy it.
All right, folks, well, listen, before we get into Mailbag, some of you may have heard there's this little film opening up called Hunger Games Catching Fire. Now, it's a vast world, this Hunger Games, with all the districts, and maybe some of that's confused you. So AMC's put together this really cool little video to kind of, as a primer, to get you really in tune with all the different districts, who comes from where, what the districts are all about. So we want to share this video with you. You can find it on our YouTube channel, but we want to share it with you right now. So check out this Hunger Games video that we put together. Can't wait to get some Hunger Games in you? Head on over to www.amctheaters.com right now for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show called Mailbag. Now, if you've got a topic or a question you would like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, every day we take 2 or 3 questions. On the weekends, we even do full mailbag episodes where all we do is take mailbag questions. So right now, Ashley's got a few messages pulled out of the mailbag. So Ashley, what do we got?
Nicholas Diaz writes, hello sons and daughters of AMC. Thanks for a great show. My question is more of a buy or sell type question. Would you guys buy or sell actors who establish themselves as Marvel characters jumping ship to a DC franchise, i.e. Tom Hiddleston as the Riddler, or Chris Hemsworth as Hawkman, or Jamie Alexander as Wonder Woman, and so on and so forth? And would you buy this casting or sell it?
This question comes up a lot. You know, a lot of times when the whole Jamie Alexander as Wonder Woman thing came up, and we're neither confirming nor denying that Jamie Alexander is playing Wonder Woman. But I remember when these rumors came up, there were a number of people who said, well, she can't because she's already in with Marvel, and therefore she can't do DC. And that's just not true. You know, actors all the time do movies with one studio, go do a movie with another studio, go do a movie with another studio. Well, yeah, but John, you can't do that with comic book movies. Can't change studios that play multiple comic book characters. Well, you can. I'm going to give you just a few examples. I was actually on the way in here and I just started to jot down a few examples, all right? Number one, Ryan Reynolds. He was in Blade. He was in X-Men Origins Wolverine as Deadpool. And, of course, he was in not Fantastic Four.
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. Then you've got Chris Evans, who was in Fantastic Four, of course, as the Human Torch, and now he's Captain America. You got Halle Berry, who was Storm in X-Men, and she was Catwoman. You got Hugo Weaving, who was in Captain America and in V for Vendetta. You got Idris Elba, who's in Thor and Ghost Rider 2. You got James Marsden, who's in X-Men and in Superman Returns. You got Jon Favreau, who's in Daredevil and Iron Man. You got Karl Urban, who's in Priest and Dredd. You got Ray Stevenson, who's in Punisher and in Thor. You got Rebecca Romijn, no longer Stamos, who is in X-Men and in Punisher. You got Ron Perlman, who's in Hellboy and Blade 2. You got Terrence Stamp, who's Zod in Superman 2 and in Elektra, and the list goes on. And I'm just talking about the ones that have superhero characters. If you want to go into graphic novels in general, the list is even a lot bigger. So there's a long, proud tradition of actors portraying a comic book hero character or villain, whatever, and then going and playing in a comic book film for another studio, even crossing the DC Marvel line. So it's absolutely been done. We see actors play in different movies for different studios all the time. So yeah, if Jamie Alexander was going to play Wonder Woman, I'd be all for it, and I would have absolutely no problem with the fact that she happened to be another character in another studio movie. Makes absolutely no difference. I think I might have been a little more hard-lined on that before. I think maybe at one point I was also like, well, no, if you're in a Batman movie, you can't go and be in an X-Men movie. But I've completely changed my thought on that. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I don't think we've seen a bad example of it yet. I mean, obviously bad movies, but nothing tragic has happened. Like, nobody said, wait a minute, I don't get it. Halle Berry's wearing a Catwoman outfit, but I could have sworn she was Storm. Like, nobody's having, breakdowns because of it. So I think it's totally fine. I would completely buy it and would have no problem with it. Aaron, what do you think?
I have no problem with it either. To be honest, I would love to see, we've talked about so many times on the show, a character like Jamie Alexander going from Sif to Wonder Woman, and I don't have a problem with that DC Marvel line being crossed. I think it's absolutely fine, and although I don't want all these movies to become a recycling system of all the same actors over and over again, let's get some new faces in there, and let's consider new talent when it comes to making movies. I still don't have a problem with it happening, though.
Schnepp?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it either. I mean, even villains, like Mark Strong played the villain in Kick-Ass, and then he played Sinestro. I mean, there's a lot of other actors who are able to play villains in multiple genres of the superhero world, which is bigger than Marvel and DC. There's all these other, there's all these other comic book companies, who are self-publishing their own heroes like Kick-Ass. And so, that world is building and growing, so you're always going to need actors to fill those roles.
Nicolas Cage in Kick-Ass and Superman.
That's right.
The death of Superman lives.
Yep. And that footage is incredible, guys. I've seen it. And one of the things about superheroes and acting, did you mention Ben Affleck as Daredevil and Batman?
Oh, no, I didn't even mention that one.
I mean, that's like, I was going to say there has to be at least a 10-year wait between switching sides. But, seriously, I don't see any problem in it at all. So, the only problem I would see is if they were acting in it at the same time, and then their movie came out on the same weekend, fighting each other.
Yeah, there'd be a bit of a conflict of interest there, yeah. All right, what's next?
Michael Jones writes, "Hey guys, love the show and can't get enough of it. The other day you all discussed if Arnold Schwarzenegger could ever regain his action star supremacy. As I agree that he will never reign supreme again, I do, however, think he has a chance to be a current action star. And in large part, I think it would help if he ever teamed up with Jamie Lee Curtis and Tom Arnold for a True Lies 2. I remember hearing rumors a while ago about a possible sequel, but nothing since. Will this movie ever happen? And if it does, do you guys think it would affect Arnold's action star status? Keep up the good work and bring on the filthy."
True Lies is, I remember when I put this list together a long time ago, I was surprised by what I put at number 1. True Lies is my all-time favorite action film. It's hilarious, it's exciting, there's magnificent one-liners. Tom Arnold was born to be in that movie. I don't know what use he has now that movie's done, but he was awesome in True Lies. I know he's been really trying to get a True Lies 2 done. And so the idea of going back to it, listen, you're not far off. There's a formula here. Sylvester Stallone, for a long time, this is after the Rockies were done and after the Rambos were done, he tried doing a whole slew of movies, and nothing worked. Then all of a sudden, he did another Rambo film, and he did another Rocky film, and then another Rocky film, and all of a sudden, he was relevant again. Vin Diesel. There was a time he was like, okay, I'm done with Fast and the Furious, and I'm not doing XXX no more, and I'm getting away from those things. And he tried a whole bunch of different things, and none of them worked. And so, I'm back in Fast and the Furious again, and now Vin Diesel's an international megastar again. Look, we may be frustrated as fans and say, why just keep going back to something that worked 10 years ago? But the formula for some of these actors has proved to work. Obviously, The Last Stand did not work for Arnold Schwarzenegger, which really sucks because I thought The Last Stand was a fun movie, and I thought Arnold was really solid in it. But nobody went to go watch it. Nobody went to go see his most recent film. It was called The Tomb, now it's called Escape Plan. And nobody went to go see it again. Would a True Lies 2 be a huge box office smash hit? Probably not, but would it do respectable? You get Jamie Lee Curtis back, Tom Arnold back, get the gang back. Especially if you get James Cameron back. And I think Cameron has some interest. If they were to do that, and I doubt it'll ever happen, but if they were, I think it would do well. And I do think it would give a good boost of adrenaline into Arnold's post-governor career. So anyway, Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it. I know they had a script for it. I know they were developing it for a long time, even 10 years after the movie came out. It just feels like it's too late to do that movie now. It just feels like all those actors, I mean, I just, they'd have to obviously completely rewrite the script. I loved True Lies when it came out, and it is one of my favorite action films. It's not my top number 1, but it is an incredible action film that if you've never seen it, you should check it out. True Lies, Arnold and Cameron.
So good.
I still think Arnold should be in Santa Claus versus the Martians. I've added Martians now because it's Santa Claus is the only guy who can save Earth from a Martian invasion, and Arnold is Santa Claus. That's my official pitch, so I'm writing it right now, studios. You can hurry up and buy it from me. And Arnold, you've heard it first here. That's your next movie. So,
Aaron?
I didn't know that was one of your favorite action movies, or your actual number 1. I love that because I love that movie too. It's one of my favorites, and I would love to see a True Lies 2, but that is my own personal love for the original coming out right now. Do I think it would be a big box office smash? Not necessarily, and I don't think it would either. It wouldn't really help Arnold's career at this point in terms of establishing him or reestablishing him as an action presence kind of guy right now. So I really think that it's just not the best move for him, and I think he should still act, but move on to other aspects of his career.
Well, nothing else seems to be working. Look, if he could put out a Conan, the King Conan, and then put out a True Lies 2, I think there might be some renewed interest. But that aside, speaking of True Lies, if you ask me, I don't think you have any argument against me. If I were to say, in my top 5 list of not hottest actresses, but hottest actresses in one particular movie, 2 of those top 5 spots, number 1 would have to belong to Cameron Diaz when she was in The Mask.
Oh, yeah.
But the other one, Tia Correa in True Lies.
What?
Oh, my.
Jamie Lee Curtis, you mean?
Beautiful. No, she was beautiful in it, but oh, my gosh, she was stunning. Stunning. I'm not going to go into details, but I thought she was just...
I argue with you that Jamie Lee Curtis is the top one.
Oh, you thought she was better looking than Correa?
I think so.
I liked her little dance.
That strip scene.
I loved
know,
her
that
little
was
dance.
good.
That was great. I also spent a lot of nights thinking, anyway.
Oh, boy.
All right, folks, listen, that will do it for us. We're all out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to thank, first of all, sitting to my immediate right, she's the entertainment correspondent for AMC Movie News, Miss Erin Darling. Erin, where can people find you online?
Twitter at Erin A. Darling, Facebook Erin Darling fan page, and of course YouTube, Erin Ashley D. Thanks for tuning in.
And sitting to her right, the no longer a prospect, Mr. John Schnepp, writer, director extraordinaire. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me at Twitter and Instagram, and check out my Kickstarter, Unicron the Unicorn Barbarian, and my new screenplay, Santa Claus versus the Martians, which is going to be coming to 2016 head-to-head with Independence Day 2.
And making her return to the hosting seat over there, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you online?
You know, I used to have a Twitter, but then I got really lazy, so I should probably be a little bit more energetic and active and get back into that. But I'll let you know when I get back into it.
All right, and as for me, you can find me on the various social media channels, just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Don't forget, lots of great movies playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amc theaters for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. Thank you so much to you guys for joining us. Thanks to the Stream.tv for having us here. And most of all, thank you to my beloved laptop. I don't know where I was going with that. Thanks a lot for joining us. Until next time, my name is John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until then, bye-bye.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.